Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Present here, I am Dr. Ravi Kumar Gupta is going to talk about feature-based product development and related issues. Actually, this webinar was supposed to be conducted on 30th May 2020, but on that day, due to some technical glitch, it was postponed. I apologize for that day. Before I start with my presentation, I would like to welcome and extend my thanks to all the participants as my friends and students whosoever present here has joined or joining this webinar and spending time from your tight schedule for listening me. I hope you all are safe and healthy at your place and must be spending a great time with your family. I am thankful to Manipal University, Jaipur, especially Professor N. Sharma, Vice Pro President, Manipal University Library, especially Dr. Shivraj, Chief Librarian, and his team for organizing this webinar and providing this platform to interact with you. Now I am going to start my presentation. So this is, I opened my slide. So this webinar is on feature-based product development. Pleasure to inform you. Recently, we received A+ grade by NAC. MUJ is one of the most beautiful campus in India. And I am Dr. Ravi Kumar Gupta, Associate Professor in Department of Manipal University, Jaipur. I belongs to Mechanical Engineering Department. We have 3 programs: BTech in Mechanical Engineering. I open. So BTech in Mechanical Engineering. Yes. So we have 3 programs: BTech in Mechanical Engineering, MTech in Computer-Aided Design, Computer-Aided Analysis and Design, and MTech in Manufacturing, and PhD in Engineering. So this is about the department, and our department is established in 2011, and we have around 80% faculty members with PhD degrees. And this is the brief introduction of myself. Presently, I am working as Associate Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering and has received PhD from IISc Bangalore and MTech from MNNIT Allahabad. I worked as postdoctoral fellow at École Centrale de Nantes in France, being partner of European project H2020. The project name is Prorigio. It means customer-driven design of product services and production networks to adapt to regional market requirements. I also conducted my research and teaching work at premier institutions, namely University Bordeaux University in France, PES, Institute of Technology, Bangalore, and NIT, National Institute of Technology, Silchar. I am member of various professional bodies such as SAE India, Design Society, Institution of Engineers, and Indian Society of Technical Educations. I am Chartered Engineer of Institution of Engineers also. In total, I have 40 years of work experience and published more than 40 research papers. I published papers in SCI journals such as Computer-Aided Design, Journal of Rapid Prototyping, CIRP Journal of Manufacturing and Science, Robotics and Computer Integrated Manufacturing, Computers in Industrial Engineering, and many. So this is what you expect from this webinar. you might be familiar about feature-based product development, CAD-based tools. CAD modeling tools are developed as being feature-based parametric modeling. Industries follow product features and their design, manufacturing, and managing product information. So I have listed the important aspects which you are going to learn today by this webinar. So feature-based product design, simulation, fabrication is one of the most important domains which can reduce overall cost of its product development cycle and effort required to manage product data and development applications. Feature-based product development provides the foundation for the integration of design and subsequent applications such as engineering analysis, process planning, manufacturing, inspection, maintenance, customer feedback, and operations, and so on. So this webinar is all about feature-based product development strategies, includes product features, design, product data exchange, simulation, process planning, manufacturing, inspection, maintenance, customer feedback, importance of information technology enabled tools, and mechanical engineers and their roles. Okay, so I am going to explain these aspects in this webinar and how it is related to the feature-based product development and what are the different things which are available and what need to be included. Okay, and through my research work and through the literatures. So significant amount of research and development are in process to implement feature-based techniques for product design and development. So this is the layout of my presentation or remaining sections. So I'll explain the introduction and I'll explain using the one example. Then what is product features, its definition and classifications, and use of features, use of features as design variables, as decision variables, product development, design components, simulation, process planning, product enhancement and customer feedback, conclusion, and acknowledgement finally. So this is an example of a product. Let's see, I need to go, yes. So you see, to better understand the topic, you take an example of the product assembly. Now observe this video and understand what are the features, features in a part, features when assembled two parts, and feature required to manufacture as part to be used in assembly. So you see this is an example, a part, you have the different features. This is another example, you have the hole, then cutouts, and then this is another shape. Okay. And this is another part. You see the part is manufactured by even manufacturing operations. Then you create the another features on this part, and then how this is done in the CAD modeling tool, but you do exactly in the manufacturing process also, that you cut out by the machining operations this part, portion of the part. And this is another part. So you first create the different parts in the product, and then you go for assembly of the part. So part has the different features, and then when you go for the assembly, you see the features or set of features which are required for the assembly. We call these as matting features. Okay. So you see the outer surface of the bush is fit inside circle of this part. Similarly, the others. Okay. So in this example, you see that what is explained. So feature-based product development, you have the part. You see the left top corner, and part has you see the 4 holes. So these are the 4 hole features, and then you have the cutout at the bottom side, and then you have some material added on the top, and then you have the curved, or let's say chamfer on 4 corners. Okay? So the part has these features. Another part, you see that this is this one, and you have the cutout features from this particular base features, and then there are different parts, and this part is then again used for the assembly. So the shape features in these parts can be of addition and subtraction of volume or material, right? So you take a raw material, you add material or remove material. For removing the material, you have different machining processes. For adding the material, you have different processes like additive manufacturing, welding, and so same thing is used for the design stage itself, and then you provide the manufacturing tolerances we call as manufacturing features again. Then manufacturing features can be material, so you define the material, and then you have the dimensional tolerances, right? So on this bush, let's say, so you will give the tolerance on the basic diameter of the hole, and then you have the geometric tolerances that this is concentric cylinder, this face is parallel to another face and perpendicular to the another face, and so on. Okay? And then you have the assembly constraints. So when you assemble different parts, then you see that different faces and parts are parallel, surfaces are parallel or perpendicular or angular, or apart certain distances. Then you have the inspection features and inspection features. So if you see this part, you can say that this surface or this particular slot is the very critical and features, and you go for inspecting that particular features. And if some other features are critical, you go for that. Similarly, you have the mechanism, maintenance, recycling, and environment features. So features are used from early stage of the product development till the even, let's say, disposal. And this is the very important aspect which to be considered in the product development itself. So how the features is created at the component level, or let's in the design stage or modeling stage. This is an example. Let's say features. So you have the base material, which is hexagonal pyramid, and then you remove the material which is shown in the blue color here. Okay, so this is in SolidWorks. So for creating such kind of features in the SolidWorks, you have the cut extrude feature level or operations, and then you have the parameters to create this particular features. Okay, so you select a face and then create a sketch, and then you give the direction for the cutout. Okay, so you have the feature level or operations, and then construction procedures. Okay, so this is for the safe features. Similarly, you have the features which are associated with the surface features, assembly features, inspection features, design variables. Okay, so design variables features can be considered as a design variables. Okay, or you can give some particular parameters which can be used and managed in the product development stages, and then decision variables. Okay, so these terms, feature labels and operations, and the feature representation, we say it, or construction operations or construction procedure, and these are application dependent. And when you exchange the information as it is required to exchange the model from different stages, starting from the design and then you have the manufacturing, inspection, and then other stages. So different stages, it is not possible to understand the feature labels and construction procedures which are created in different applications. Okay, so these are application independent, okay, and application dependent. Other application do not understand this. Okay, so the definition of feature is first described by the Saha in 1991, or Jimmy Saha. Features encapsulate the engineering significance of portions of the geometry of a part or assembly, and as such are important in product design, product definition, and reasoning for a variety of applications. Okay, so these are the same like what I explained you to. So features is a encapsulation or combination of certain, let's say, elementary elements, and this can be a shape features or assembly, or can be used for different stages. And these features are considered as building block for defining or designing a product model, and features are used as design variables, decision variables in the product development. So for example, like you have the hole in a shaft, right? So you maintain the hole in a shaft, which is required in other operations. So you have the decision variable that this hole, and then which becomes the like matting part has to be fit inside. So this is the classification of features what we have developed. Okay, a feature can be classified as volumetric features. Just I go and so features can be classified as volumetric features, deformation features, and freeform features. So this is restricted to the shape features, we say. Here I am not going to consider other type of features which are also there. So further, volumetric features depend on volume changes as addition and subtraction of volume or material from a base solid. Deformation features are classified as deformation of material without change of volume. In volumetric features, you see the volume is changed, but in deformation features, the volume is remain same, but you deform the base or deform the sheet. And third one is freeform surface features. These features lie on a surface without demarcation from the base surface. Okay. So examples are shown here. So first you see the right side top corner. So this is the volumetric feature. So initially you have the circular, let's say, raw material or rod, and then you construct or build or operations different manufacturing to remove the material. So you have the volumetric features, volume is going to reduce. But in the second example, which is just below the first one in the right side, so you have the sheet metal sheet, and then you deform the sheet or different deformation operations, and then you create the features. So you see that bending operations, these are the deformation features, whereas you see the cutouts, the hole, and this slot, these are the volumetric features again. So if you see the deformation operations, volume remains same, whereas when you have the cutout or addition of material, the volume get changed. So third category is the freeform surface features, where you see that it is lying on the surface, and the complete surface is represented by a single surface. It can be a freeform surface or can represent by the knob surface, and then there is no clear-cut demarcations on the features that where it features is like. If you see the definition of the surface, you cannot find. So, but some features are there. So such kind of features we call as freeform surface features or fully freeform surface features. This is the classification for the classification or the classification how we define the features. So you have the base features. When you have the cutting operations, so cut features is created. This is a volumetric features. So you have the base features, and then when you add the material or volume, it becomes the volumetric features. So you have the manufacturing operations or set of manufacturing operations which can be manufactured by the cutting volumetric features while addition and subtraction of material. And another is the deformation feature. So you have the seed and volume, and then from there you deformed by some deformation operations, and then you have the different features. And the freeform features is that complete surface is represented by a single representation, and then on the surface you have the features. So this is the example of freeform surface features. And you see in the product or real product, okay, as you see in the right side, so this is the computer cabinet where you see the different features. You have the deformation features like the bending of the seat, and then you have the different cutouts as the volumetric features. This is the body of the car. Okay, so there also you have the volumetric features, freeform features, and then deformation features. Okay, so these classification is top level classification. When you further go down, you can say that it is based on the where features is like it is inside the, let's say, surface or outside the surface or at the corner or at the edge. Then you have the next level of classification, and then further based on the specific geometry, that what kind, it is a circular or rectangular or this, then you have the another, further go down, then you have the next level of classification. And then you have one more level of classification. You see that when you have the addition of the material, you say that it is depression, addition of material. When you have the, let's say, depression or removal of material, you say that it is a depression. Okay, so when we come to the product development where these features are used or important, then so what is product development? Product development is the transformation of a marketing opportunity into a product available for sale or earn profit. So you identify the opportunity, you come up with some solutions, you produce the product, but that product will give you the earn the benefit. It is can be in terms of the money, or in terms of some satisfaction, or maybe in terms of some competition. Okay, so market opportunity, fill the gaps by launching a product. So new product development is the process. It consists of set of activities to bring market opportunity to new product and market opportunity to produce new product, or it can be a revised product. So you modify the existing product with certain features or modifications, becomes a revised product for identified market or targeted market or customer profile. So new product development is the process of set of activities to bring market opportunity to new or revised product for identified market. Okay, so you see here the example. So initially when you design the product from the scratch, it becomes a new product, and then you see that you cannot sell this initial idea which because you don't have some attractive features or anything. Then you slowly add the features and functionality depending on the ease of use, depending on the attraction or some competitive advantages, and then it becomes a revised product. So you see that the first product has now converted to the backpack so that it is easy to carry. Then it has the pockets on the side so that you can have water bottle and other extra stuff, and then you see the images on the front side, so it will attract the kids so that it becomes the school bag. And the next revision of this, that backpack, so it can be carried for the, let's say, some heavy stuff. It is, again, it is difficult to carry, so you add the trolley here, and then the features associated to the trolley. Okay, then in the trolley also, for depending on the purpose of usage and who are going to use, again you can have the additional features, which can be the modification or further modification of this. Okay. So how then we come to the product development. Okay. So product development, or we'll say that this is about the product, and then we come the product development stages. In product development, several applications, engineering domains come into play, making the ability of the success of the product under development. Okay. So in product development, there are different stages, right? The top level, that which you identify the problem and the recognition of need, and then you define the problem and conceptualize, then you model that and have the spatial analysis, and then you have the engineering analysis and optimization, and after that you have the first product development, rapid prototyping, and once you confirm the rapid prototyping, you check with the functionality and what you define at the early stages of product development, and after that you go for the manufacturing and you sell to the market. And then customer says that, okay, get the feedback about the product and say that this is good, this is not good, this has to be modified. If you want to cover the larger group of population or larger group of customers, then you need to add extra benefit. Okay, so this is followed by the conventional product development, and then you add the computer aided tools for the different stages, then it becomes a modern product development, and then you have the further enhancement or modifications on this based on the different or recent technologies, right? So CAD is extensively used for geometric modeling, spatial analysis. Then you have the for CAD tool, you have the commercial software and open softwares also, like the commercial software CATIA, Creo, ProE, NX, and so on. And open source platforms are there, like FreeCAD, OpenSCAD, and so on. And then you have the engineering analysis and optimization or finite element analysis. There are different procedures and softwares for doing that. Then you, after that you go for. So each stage you have the solutions or computer support solutions to make the product development cycle cost effective, and time, it reduces the time. Okay, but when you go for exchanging the model information among applications, then what is one you can send the raw data or product model itself, okay, or you convert into some format and exchange. So there are some loss of information or some specific procedure is required when you exchange or fully automate this particular product development cycle. Okay, so with the product development happening in multiple locations with multiple product computer-based tools, automatic exchange of meaning associated with the product data among these applications become important, and sometimes it is difficult to even manage this, and there is some loss of information. Okay. So when we see the product, this is the first example I gave you. So in a product, you can have the shape features, you have the different product components, you have the functional components, module, product with the design variables, you know? But finally all these come and traced back to the shape features. Okay, so shape features I already classified as that shape features can be at top level volumetric deformation freeform surface features. Then based on the placement you have the further classification, and after that based on the geometry, and then you have the next level of classification. Okay. So how it is designed in modeling softwares. Okay, so this is an example from the SolidWorks. So this is example, you want to have the cutout on this particular, let's say, part. Then you use the cut extrude features, and for cut extrude features you have the construction procedures, right? You select a face and then draw the sketch on this, and then you give some 10 parameters to create that particular cut extrude features. If you see the same features which can be designed in other modeling tools, okay, for example, this is Siemens NX, earlier it is UG NX. So the same features are cut out you have the construction label and operations. Here it is extrude, and for creating the extrude, whether you are adding the material or removing the material, there is another parameters here, that subtract or subtract. So subtract means you remove the material, and then you draw the sketch and then set the parameters to create this particular features. Okay, and then you have the feature tree or product tree, we say that on the right side. Okay. If you see the third CAD modeling software, which is CATIA, so similar kind of features or cut features can be created by using the pocket. So you have the pocket command there in CATIA. For adding, you have the command pad, but for creating the cut features, as shown here, you have the pocket command in the CATIA. Okay. So when you exchange the model among these CAD modeling softwares, so you see the different in terminology, different in construction procedures. Okay. So these terms, they cannot understand, or they don't understand the native format, what is created in one software and how it is going to be exchanged to the other. Okay. So terms means feature labels and construction operations, and representation means parameters and values. These are application dependent, and other applications don't understand what is there. Okay. So next is, so what is, it is not possible, then what is the current trend, how it is going nowadays in the industries. So exchange of data requires the dedicated translator or recreation of the model. There are two approaches. So dedicated translators, so you have the one modeling software, and then you have the second modeling software. You create the dedicated translator for exchanging the product information from one to second, and then second to one. Okay. If you have three, then you create the translator from, or let's say compiler from one to second and one to third, or you recreate the model again. So you recreate the model again in the first one, and then the designer will recreate the model again in the second. Product information data at higher level of extraction is extended only through human intervention. Okay. So human intervention is required. Exchange of product information, meaning and lossless, is still an open issue. So it is still again difficult when we say in terms of the computer exchange. Okay. And another is that using the neutral format. So neutral formats like you have the step file format, step, STL, IGS, DXF. So there are other formats. So you first convert the native format to the neutral format, and then the neutral format can be understood by other CAD modeling software or other applications, and then you convert that. But what neutral format? They deliver the dumb geometry, no design intent is associated, it is not editable, non-editable, and it is a dumb model. Okay. There are feature recognition modules again, which extract, but still there are some losses during this process also. And the third one is, which is the available in the literature again, and then 3D PLM has done some work in this side. So based on the common set of modeling operations in CAD systems. Okay. So similar terms, the meaning are enumerated under one head. So for example, like I explained in the previous example, you have the cut, extrude, pocket, and cut extrude. So under a one head, you associate the different labels or feature operations under that particular head. So pad for adding the material, pad in CATIA, pad, and then you have the boss and extrude. So like that, so they have the head terms, and the corresponding modeling operations are enumerated under that particular one label. Okay. So you can find more details in the literature, CEO and Leo and Hahn in 2010, and then this is another paper. And the next approach is based on the intermediate representation. Okay. So it is based on the shared ontology or some intermediate representation or domain ontology, and there are some work which are done by the Patel in 2005 and the other authors literature listed here. Okay, so when you exchange the model, then there are problems as listed here. So terminology inconsistency in different CAD modeling software. So for example, CATIA, you create the, let's say, this whole features here. When you exchange this to the inventor, then model is recreated, but you will not find the features because that sketch profile, which is a circular, is not exactly identify the surface and which is away. So hole cannot be created. Another problem is persistent naming problem. So entity selection mechanism was not consistent among different CAD modeling software. Okay. So when you recreate the model, then so you see that in the ProE now is Creo, that it is a circular features at the corner. Okay, so age is selected and then you create the chamfer features here, but in this SolidWorks, it is identifying age. Instead of identifying age, it's identified the circle here as the features as the reference entity to create that particular feature. Okay, and different modeling methods and modeling sequences lead to different modeling or different models. Okay. So here you see that feature labels, and so what you need to learn here is that feature label operations, and then you select a product modeling tools, right? And product modeling tools has the feature label operations and construction procedures, and then you have the feature tree or product tree consisting the operations followed a feature on underlying shape. Okay, so for doing this, there are different feature-based parametric CAD modeling tools. The commercially available is CATIA, Creo from PTC, NX, MENS, and SolidWorks, SolidAge, and there are many. And there are different open source CAD modeling tools. So you can access them using the internet, or you can download in your PC and then you can work on. And this is OpenSCAD, OpenJSCAD. This is the Java version. And then you have VRL CAD, FreeCAD, LibraCAD, Blend, ThinkerCAD. Okay. So commercial softwares also there, open source also there, but all these there are, when you exchange, let's say model is created in CATIA and you want to exchange it to the OpenSCAD, then you have the problem, and problem can be in terms of the different labels, operations, and construction procedures, or maybe in terms of the parameters. Okay. Okay. So example is which is explained here. So knowing the underlying concept, okay, underlying development is quite similar among all these softwares. It's quite similar, though they have different features, labels, and construction procedures. So you see that you have the solid, it is a cuboid, and then this is a cutout. And for cutout, you have the pocket here. Okay, so this is in CATIA. When you draw this one or model this one in the, this is of SolidWorks. So you have the, for creating the base features, you have the pad here, but here you have the base extrude, both extrude, and for cutout is the cut extrude. Okay, and then you have the underlying procedure for constructing these features, and these are different. So it is not possible to exchange directly from native format to another native format. And another example shown here for sheet metal features. So you have the sheet metal in CATIA. You have the ball and wall, and wall is then you have the sketch, wand and wall, and this is the bridge features, right? and the same model is created in the other software, which is of SolidWorks here. So you have the base flange. Instead of wall, you have the base flange, right? And on this, you have the edge flange. This is edge flange, edge, and then base, and then you have the bridge lines, this one. Okay. So for exchanging the product information, as I explained you before, when you have direct translator, so for n application, you need n into n minus 1 translators. Okay. And when you use the neutral formats like step file, STL file, DXF file, IGS file, so you need 2n translators for n tools. Okay. So to convert from application 1 to neutral format, and then to read the neutral format to application 1, and neutral format is common to all, so you need 2n translator here. Okay. Okay. So we use this concept for development of unified taxonomy and then ontology for product model requirement to exchange among product development application and domains computationally or using computers, and also to maintain semantic meaning of feature labels, operations, and construction procedures as in target applications. So the target application may be different from the let's say source application, or where the model is designed, and kernel may be different, but still we are able to exchange the model semantically or maintaining the meaning of terms and the procedure as it is required in the target application. So we develop the diff model, domain independent form feature for shape features, and then we have the unified taxonomy for the shape features, and develop the ontology, and then we have the mapping features meaningfully from source to the diff model and diff to the target application. Okay, so diff ontology to target application. This is the way we have exchanged the product model among applications in the CAD modeling software. This is a screenshot of the ontology, developed ontology. So class structure and relationship is shown here at the top level, right? So you have the shape features. Shape features will have the deformation features, volumetric features, and freeform features. And then after that, you have the underlying classifications, as I explained you in the earlier slides. Okay. So this is example how we use this tool. So let's say this is an example which is of extrude on the base solid, right? So extrude in the diff, it is represented using the diff, it is represented using the certain parameters, right? And then first you convert from source model from source application to diff, and then from diff to multiple applications. So here I have modeled these two applications, SolidWorks and CATIA. And first one is the throw slot extrude protrusion, which is the diff terminology. And then you can select any one applications and then model computationally the product model in source application. So this is an example, like you have the model. So first we extract the required parameters and then construct the model in the target application using the API or application protocol interface. Okay. So for doing this, there are different sets of skill set required. Okay. So understanding different modeling concepts in CAD modeling tools or different tools, understanding native formats, understanding neutral formats, software development and computer graphics, geometric modeling, then visualization concepts, and understanding different APIs used in different CAD modeling tools, and whether you are able to develop some compiler or translators. Okay, and now recently the new technologies which are dominating again, that data mining, artificial intelligence, machine learning, augmented reality, and virtual reality is further enhanced the development or feature-based product development. Okay. So this is another example like for the freeform surface features. So you have the first surface, and then you, based on some data mining, machine learning applications, you discretize the surface, and then you identify where is certain changes, or identify the features, and then where it is the features, and then fit into the taxonomy. Okay. So for example, this is a features, then you see the feature classification, the feature, and then it will identify the demarcating or edges which will differentiate from the base surface to the feature, from the feature base surface, from the base surface to the feature. Okay. So for this, you need the latest technologies like artificial intelligence or machine learning. But sometimes the and machine learning also not able to compute for the complex product. Then sometimes you need even especially guided tools or mechanism such as augmented reality and virtual reality. Okay. So further, I extended this work in let's say shape simplification. Just 1 minute. So further, I extended this to the shape simplification. Sorry. So shape simplification. So product simplification. So you have the, let's say, first one, which is a feature, and it has, which is a product. It has the certain features, but based on the importance of features and based on the size of the features, uh, those features may not contribute much in the analysis phase or later stages of product development. Later stages of product development. So you uh, change those features or eliminate or suppress those features which are not going to contribute in the analysis phase, and and later, once after the analysis, you again need to bring those features. So feature based product development, you need to identify the features, identify the importance features, or based on some strategies or aspect ratio, you see that these features are important for, let's say, some aesthetic point of view or some assembly point of view or some packaging point of view, but these features are not contributing much in the analysis stage. So you need to suppress those things and then again bring after the suppressions, and then you include in the later stages. So you need to identify the features and suppress the features, and when it is required, you need to bring the features again. Okay. Next, so this is another example in the same category, like this is a cabinet. So when you go for the analysis, so this is the initial design. When you go to the analysis, then you simplify the product information or product itself by removing certain features. So first level of simplification is this, and then you say that, okay, this product is sufficient, or for the analysis, then you go for analysis or different it's analysis procedure. Else you again further simplify, and then you see the last, it removes all the features, only the banding features and few important features are there which are contributing to the analysis. Okay. So this work is done with Yogesh Kulkarni, College of Engineering, Pune. Next is we use the same feature-based product development in additive manufacturing operations. So feature-based building orientation operation for additive manufacturing to construct or to build additive manufacturing production knowledge. So how it is used, that we have the features, okay, and then based on the features, we create the directions, okay. So different directions on the features. So for example, this is a hole you see, and the direction can be axis perpendicular to the axis and in the direction of the axis. So three directions can be possible here. Okay. So all these directions are used for optimization and then construct the probable directions which can be used for additive manufacturing operations with certain uh, parameters, like you are going to optimize the cost, optimize the time, optimize the, let's say, at height or volume. Okay, so this work, and then you use the different optimization method for further reducing the number of build directions. Okay, so initially you have the infinite build directions. From the infinite build directions, using the feature based approach, you will get the finite build directions, and then from finite build directions you again go optimization methods to have the concrete, or let's say, very precise build directions. Okay, so it will reduce the time of the analysis starting from the, let's say, product to get the final build directions through the feature based approach. If you don't have the feature based approach, then it will take longer time and the directions may not be so appropriate, because some features or small features may not be considered here, but small features we gave on the direction, and give directions is as good as when you have the small features or big features. Okay, and the way we, so this work is done with Isha when I was there in École Centrale Norms. Now he is faculty in UTBS France. Okay, the next we extended this feature based product development in Prodigio project. Okay, so you have the product and develop the augmented reality tool considering the features and product modules, and these product features and product modules are considered for let's say evaluating the product itself and getting the feedback or identifying the set different let's say selection procedures, and which can be used for again for the enhancing the product development. Okay, so we consider here frugal aspects. Okay, so customer can decide, or particular region we can give certain aspects and the more importance. Okay, and then get more based on the ranking method, and then those ranking methods is ranking procedure or method is used in product development, so that uh, the product can be developed exactly as per the requirement from the market. Okay, so when you go one time a complete procedure, then it becomes a new product, and then you modify the product development and it becomes the, let's say, revised product development. So new product one time, new product development is the process set of activities to bring a market opportunity to a new or revised product for a targeted market and customer profile. Okay, so continuous development strategies better satisfy the customer requirement and increase the market share. Okay, so next is we see come through the same the product development cycle. When you start from the problem definitions to the sending the product to the market, and then you get the feedback and improve the product. Okay, so now we have the ICT tools or ICT digital form and communications. So it has the advantages in product development cycle, and then you have the information IoT tool, Internet of Thing or Industrial Internet of Thing, artificial intelligence, human interventions, and cloud computing. How much human interventions is required, and then you have the computing power, everything in the cloud, and then physical things, your machines, and your manufacturing setup are connected to the cloud through ICT tools, internet. Okay, so features again has the important role here, that you connect the things through the features. Features can be safe features, and these safe features can again uh, become the product features or modules, and then it may become the decision variable or design variable. Okay, and then when we see the customer side, then customer driven product development and configuration or validation tool can be developed, and which can be used for configuring the product or enhancing the product information, which can be used in the product development again. Okay, so The conclusion of this is whether all the human decisions should be replaced by artificial intelligence or machine learning approaches, okay? Or is it possible to replace everything, and how much is it to be possible? Whether 100% automation is required, okay, or is it possible to? So there is a decision or has to be done based on the company strategies or the easiness or how much, or even depend on the policies. Okay, so this is the acknowledgement slide. Okay, and the contribution, I worked with different persons. So Professor B. Gurumurthy, he is a faculty professor in ISC Bangalore. Professor Alan Bernard, EC in France. Dr. Farooq Balkadi, EC in France. Dr. Isha, and now is UTB in France. Yogesh Kulkarni and Kothala Smith. Okay, so this webinar is managed or arranged by Manipal University Jaipur and Manipal University Jaipur Library. Okay, so this is my last slide. Thank you so much. So I have done with my presentation. Now, if you have any query, write in the chat window or chat box and email me on my email ID shown here. Okay. So Ravi, RAVIKUMAR .GUPT @jaipur.manipal.edu, and my personal email ID is rkgisc@gmail.com, or you can give me text message or call me on. So 91 is the country code India. Then my telephone number is 9958063034. This is also my WhatsApp number. Okay. So I would like to say thanks a lot for being a part of this webinar, and my sincere thanks to the MUJ library team members for their sincere support. So I'll go to the chat window. If you have any query, then you write there. I will read and then give the reply to that. I will see the chat window. Okay, so let me go through message from the starting. Good afternoon. There is one call. Okay, no. Okay, till now there is no specific questions. So I am reading messages one by one. Please send PP to PPT. All presentations mail, sir. Okay. So this video is live, and you can access through Facebook account. Okay. So there is, if still you need PPT, then you send me email. I will include that. I will send the presentation. Okay. Send the link of PPT in comment box. Okay. So right now the PPT is not shared everywhere. I am presenting from my laptop. So if you need PPT, then you send me the email. I will send you the presentation. Video upload on YouTube. Okay. So video upload YouTube will be managed by Manipal University Jaipur library. So I am live on the Facebook. Okay. So it is available in the Facebook, and when it is going to be uploaded in the YouTube, or whether it is going live in the YouTube also, that I don't know. Excellent information. Okay, so not a very specific question. I thank our resource person. Okay, thank you so much for, thank you. Okay, so audio and video not connected, sir. Please check. Okay, that I don't know. It is. Okay, so thank you so much once again for being part of this webinar. And if you have any query, you can write to me on my email ID, which is shown here. Okay, and you are connected through Facebook also, and my Skype WhatsApp number is 9958063034. So you can send me message. I will send you the PPT also. Okay, so thank you so much, and I thanks to MUJ Library team members for their sincere support again. Thank you. Bye bye.